Hey gamers, this is John, host of Video Games in the World, and welcome to the second issue of Video Games in the World's weekly news of my channel. This week's news has its moments, and as well as crazy ones at the beginning of this week. Some things were cringe-worthy at best, others were good news. We have also some sad news to share as well. Most of it is sad. Now, to those who are staying home due to the recent viral outbreak known as the coronavirus, I urge you all to do so. Wash your hands, drink a lot of water, and stay healthy and strong. If you're sick, do not go to school or work. Just stay home, drink lots of fluids, and eat your fruits and vegetables. Okay? So our first news came on Sunday on International Women's Day. Warning, spoiler alert for Castlevania Season 3 here. Now, according to one angry gamer, Castlevania's sex scene with Alucard and the Japanese twins was promoting some hidden agenda. Now, all of a sudden, because of this sex scene, one angry gamer starts to think that Castlevania is promoting SJW propaganda and identity politics. Now, here's the thing. I find the sex scene to be awkward in many ways. Hell, Game of Thrones had a lot of awkward sex scenes as well. Both straight and LGBT sex scenes, you know? But I hardly believe that this turns Castlevania into SJW propaganda. We've seen vampires throughout pop culture that were either gay or bisexual. From the Anne Rice novels, we've had Lestat de la Court and Louise de Pointe du Lac. Not to forget from True Blood, we've had Russell Edgington, Tara Thornton, Pam, Steve Newland, and Eddie. Watch the show and you know what I mean. There are many other vampire stories where vampires can be straight, lesbian, bisexual, or gay. Let me tell you something, one angry gamer. You think that just because of that sex scene in Castlevania the show is now SJW propaganda with a gay agenda? You're acting like the very people you claim to despise. Remember that quote from The Dark Knight? Die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain? That's what's going on here. You're acting like an SJW right there. Now, many anti-SJWs go to extremes saying that everything is SJW. Just like SJWs who love to say how everything is racist, sexist, and homophobic, it's all analogous right there. If you don't want to watch something like that, skip it. There were times I agreed with one angry gamer regarding SJWs and how they promote censorship because certain things in movies, video games, TV shows, and books hurt their little fifis. Don't forget that X-Men Apocalypse billboard too that had to be removed because it hurt their little fifis too. Particularly one person I will not mention, and that person led the charge into getting that billboard removed. I'm not going to mention that person. Of course, there are times I disagree with them, and this is the one case I talk about disagreeing with one angry gamer. Now, for the record, I do not like SJWs because of their extreme political correctness. They're twisting on what feminism is all about. They think themselves that they are the center of the universe. They think they run everything and that they're the final arbiters of what is acceptable and not acceptable in pop culture. They're a modern-day interpretation of the infamous Spanish Inquisition. How is that? When there's a character in a skimpy, scantily clad outfit, SJWs want her to be dressed more modestly while letting real-life women dress like that. They say that scantily clad dressed females in comics, video games, and movies perpetuates the male gaze. And that, my friends, is a double standard. Many inquisitors promoted Puritanism while not following their own principles. I'm pretty sure most of these virtue signaling people are like that too. Let's not forget that SJWs claim to speak for LGBT people, women, and ethnic minorities, but the moment these people disagree with them, SJWs harass them. They're manipulative, dogmatic, hateful, and use people as puppets to gratify themselves, and even tend to make people as miserable as they are with their groupthink. But enough of them. We have to move on. So, our next news is that Castlevania writer Warren Ellis thanks the fans for making the show one of the top 10. Now, I stated that Ellis never played a Castlevania game before, as I read on another news. But I gotta say that the Netflix series was a pretty good adaptation of the game series and loosely based on Dracula's Curse and Curse of Darkness. Warren Ellis shared the thankful message via his official Instagram account, showing off the fact that Castlevania had come in as the 4th top watched show in Netflix's roster of television shows, sandwiched in between other original series such as Altered Carbon and I Am Not Okay With This. Well, all I gotta say, Mr. Ellis, is you're welcome. You see, that's exactly how you do a video game adaptation. Stick as close to the game storyline. In other news, former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé joins GameStop's board of directors. Really? GameStop? Oh my god. Lately, GameStop is not looking too good since a lot of stores are closing down and its quarterly revenue and stock continue to deteriorate. Part of that includes pivoting to being more than a physical games retailer, selling products like Funko Pop toys and geek-related apparel. The company is also reportedly laying off mid-level managers and employees in an attempt to cut costs, according to Polygon. Fils-Aimé will hopefully help GameStop figure out its next steps as it tries to remain relevant and successful in an increasingly digital world. So this is what he tweeted. The gaming industry needs a healthy and vibrant GameStop. I look forward to being a part of GameStop's board and helping to make this happen. Now, Nintendo under Fils-Aimé had a very good run, and I do hope that his successor continues to that very good run. In my honest opinion, even if Mr. Fils-Aimé becomes part of the board of the directors of GameStop, I do not think that it will save the company. Why? Because if they want to save the company from hitting rock bottom, they might want to rethink their strategy in some ways. Some would say that Reggie is just getting a cushy job until he retires. I guess he doesn't know the meaning of retirement anyway. Now, the first sad news of the week was the tragic passing of Max von Sydow. He was an actor known for his many roles such as Jesus Christ in The Story Ever Told, Father Merrin in The Exorcist, Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon, King Osric in Conan the Barbarian, Ernst Avro Blofeld in Never Say Never Again, Zeus in Hercules, Lor San Tekka in The Force Awakens, and famously known for the Three-Eyed Raven in the hit TV series Game of Thrones. He was a great actor born in Sweden, and we shall all miss him dearly. And thanks, Von Sydow, for all the great characters that you played, as well as a Three-Eyed Raven. We won't forget you, always. So, moving on. Last week, I talked about the upcoming HBO adaptation of the hit PS3 video game The Last of Us. So, according to the director, the show will follow the story of the game that we all loved since its release. There will be parts recreated for this adaptation, and also the troubling events of the rough lives of our heroes Joel and Ellie. Responding to a tweet by HBO on International Women's Day about the network's history of strong female characters, Druckmann commented that a number of well-written women will be joining the list. Druckmann includes Ellie, Tess, Riley, and others from The Last of Us that are key figures from the narrative of the original game. This has led most fans to assume that the story of the show will closely follow the key moments of the game, including one that Druckmann felt necessary to keep obscured. Since this number of well-written women will join the list, I hope there are good backstories for these women in the HBO adaptation, like what happened before or the apocalypse, or how they are living during the apocalypse as well. Since it's the creator of Chernobyl behind this project, I pray it succeeds. Last week, I said that HBO was the pinnacle of cable TV since its release. We had great movies and bad ones to put on HBO. HBO was known for having great shows such as Oz, The Sopranos, Sex and the City, Entourage, Rome, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Deadwood, Game of Thrones, Euphoria, and so on. In other news, director Scott Derrickson, for his directing the movie Doctor Strange, reveals his vision for a Star Wars film, an R-rated movie set in the planet of Hoth. An R-rated movie? Wow. We all know how iconic Star Wars really is. It spawned TV shows, video games, toys, comics, and tons of merchandise. For over 4 years, we've had new Star Wars movies, both sequels and prequels as well. And currently, we have the even more loved Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. Derrickson will use John Carpenter's The Thing as an inspiration and H.P. Lovecraft's In the Mountains of Madness. Derrick also stated that he will call the film Hoth. So the planet of Hoth made its debut in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. We all remember the epic battle scene between the rebels and the Empire as the latter tried to escape pursuit. Now, I gotta admit, that Wampa scared the crap out of me as a kid. The Ice World of Hoth will be a good setting for a Star Wars horror film. Of course, some fans would say it would be a great idea, and others would say that it wouldn't work as a horror film. Maybe it could be a bit Dead Space-ish. Then again, who knows, right? Also, Norman Reedus, known for his role as fan favorite Daryl Dixon in AMC's The Walking Dead, has confirmed that he is in talks with Hideo Kojima for new projects, speculating a possible return to Silent Hills. I hope so. Silent Hills was sadly cancelled in the spring of 2015. It was one of the most highly anticipated horror games when it was released as PT back in 2014. Then we finally had Death Stranding, which was a success. What could be those projects? Hopefully something good may come out of it. And also Kojima might have plans for a Death Stranding sequel. But who knows if Silent Hills might return in the future, right? It is also said that it will return on the PS5 along a separate series reboot. But this Silent Hill game that was announced to be new is just another rumor for now. As a fan of Silent Hill myself, I hope that Konami listens to all of us fans of Silent Hill to make a new game or restart the Silent Hills project. I still remember that PT demo that scared the crap out of me. Yeah. The worst type of news for those who bought their plane tickets and hotel reservations was that this year, due to the viral outbreak of COVID-19, E3 this year has been canceled. A lot of people are not too happy about this trend of events due to the outbreak. But hey, better safe than sorry. But at the same time, I gotta say that 2020 so far has been a very, very crappy year. According to IGN, the Entertainment Software Association is now exploring the possibility of an online experience to replace the show. A statement from the ESA reads, "After careful consultation with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we have made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9-11 in Los Angeles. Following increased and overwhelming concerns about the COVID-19 virus, we felt this was the best way to proceed during such an unprecedented global situation. We are very disappointed that we are unable to hold this event for our fans and supporters, but we know it's the right decision based on the information we have today." E3 was not the only gaming conference that was canceled, but there are so many more games canceled due to concerns of the coronavirus. I know it's infuriating to cancel such events, and you guys had your plane tickets and hotel reservations, but it's better safe than sorry. And I hope that you get your refunds. I do hope so indeed. A new Batman game was supposed to be teased at the upcoming E3 2020 this year. Unfortunately, it won't happen due to concerns of the virus. Even Nintendo had problems with COVID-19 as it was reported that an employee in Redmond, Washington was tested positive for the virus. The video game company reportedly confirmed this on Thursday evening. All Nintendo employees in contact with this individual are now in self-quarantine, whether they have symptoms or not. Here's a direct statement from Nintendo of America. Nintendo of America is supporting this individual as they recover and will continue to take precautions to safeguard the health and well-being of all of our employees and the broader community. As stated last week, Nintendo is allowing all of its staff located within the states of California and Washington to work home. I sincerely hope that this employee recovers and is back in full strength. So many movies that were supposed to be released this month and in April were pushed back, unfortunately, as well. People bought their tickets to go see those movies, and now, due to the pandemic outbreak, they can't go see it. So, in conclusion, now this virus is horrible, worse than the swine flu in the late 2000s and SARS in 2003. And I hope that the people who are infected by the virus can make a full recovery and stay strong. I am also terribly sorry for those who were going to E3 for the first time, because a trip to California to go to E3 is to so many gamers a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I hope that when this thing is under control, hopefully you can all go next year. And I pray that I can make enough money so I can go myself too. So I got something to say to this COVID-19. Go screw yourself. Not today, Corona. This is John of Video Games in the World. See you next week, gamers. Later.